Hello, scholars. Welcome to today's lesson. In our business class today, we are going to be discussing trade. Some of the points we are going to discuss under trades today are the meaning of trade, the forms of trade, the differences between home trade and foreign trade, and also we'll look at the aids to trade. Once again, welcome to this lesson. Sit tight as you learn. What is trade? What is trade? When we talk about trade, we are looking at exchange, the exchange of goods for money or other goods. Trade can be defined as the buying and selling of goods and services to satisfy human wants. Okay, trade has to do with buying and selling. Okay, trade can also be seen as the any exchange for money or other goods. Okay, trade involves all activities pertaining buying and selling. The exchange of goods are done through buying and selling. All right, so that is trade. Let's look at the importance of trade. The importance of trade. Why is trade important? Okay, trade is important because it helps producers to market their products to consumers. Remember, production is not complete until goods get to the final consumers. Okay, so trade is an avenue for producers to get their goods to the consumers. Okay, trade also enables consumers to have access to goods and services needed to satisfy their wants. All right, also trade is important because it improves the standard of living. Yes, when quality goods and services are produced in a particular area, it helps to improve the standard of living of people living within that particular area. Okay, trade is also a means of generating income. All right, it helps people to exchange money for goods and also make profit. Trade also gives value to a nation's currency. Okay, currency may become useless if buyers do not have a way of exchanging their money for the goods they need. All right, and lastly is that it promotes economic growth and development. Yes, it promotes economic growth and this development. These are some of the importance of trade. Okay, let's proceed as we look at the forms of trade. Okay, there are two major types of trade: the home trade and the foreign trade. The home trade and the foreign trade. The home trade is a trade that is carried out within a country. Okay, it can be at a local, state, regional, or national level. Home trade can also be called internal trade. Other people also refer to it as domestic trade. Home trade is divided or classified into two: the wholesale trade and the retail trade. The wholesale trade and the retail trade. Wholesale trade involves buying in large quantities from producers or the manufacturers and selling to retailers. Okay, and the people who involve in wholesale trade are known as wholesalers. The retail trade involves buying in small quantities from the wholesaler and selling to consumers. All right, people who involve in this kind of trade are referred to as retailers. They are referred to as retailers. So they buy goods in small quantities from the wholesalers and sell to the final consumers. All right, let's look at the second form or type of trade, which is the foreign trade. Foreign trade is the buying and selling between two or more countries. Between two or more countries. Foreign trade can also be called international trade. International trade. Foreign trade has three main divisions. Okay, we have the import trade, export trade and intraport trade. Import trade, export trade and intraport trade. The import trade here has to do with the buying and selling of goods and services from one country to another. Okay, import trade occur when a country buys goods from other countries. For example, okay, when Nigeria buy goods from Ghana, it is known as import trade. All right, those goods will be imported into Nigeria. Then the export trade, on the other hand, involves selling of goods or services produced in one country to other countries. All right, for example, when Nigeria sell their products to Ghana, it is known as export trade. Then lastly, we have the intraport trade. The intraport trade, okay, is the re-exporting of goods already bought, into a country from another country. All right. It is simply the importation of goods from one country to another without further processing or transformation. For example, when Nigeria buy goods from Ghana and take it to Togo, it is known as intraport trade. Intraport trade. I'll take it again. When Nigeria buy goods from Ghana and take those goods to Togo or to Cameroon, it is known as intraport trade. Okay, so these are the division of the foreign trade. The diagram here shows the division of trade, as it is classified into home trade and foreign trade. And under the home trade, we have the wholesale trade and the retail trade, while under the foreign trade, we have the import trade, export trade, and the intraport trade. So this is the forms or types of trade. All right, let's take a look at the differences between the home trade and the foreign trade. The differences between the home trade and the foreign trade. Home trade is a trade that involves one country. Okay, it's a trade that is done within a country. For example, Nigeria. All right, when people buy goods from Edo State and take it to Delta State, it is an example of home trade. Then foreign trade is usually done between two or more countries. All right, between Nigeria, Ghana, Togo, Cameroon, US, okay, America, is known as foreign trade. Number two is that home trade involve only one currency. Okay, in home trade, one currency is used. In Nigeria, we use only naira to exchange goods and services, while in foreign trade, different currencies are used. We use naira, we use dollar, we use cedi, we use pounds, and so on and so forth. Okay, also in home trade, language is not a problem, as people understand the language that is spoken in that particular area. In Nigeria, our major means of communication is English. All right, a good number of Nigerians understand English, but in foreign trade, different languages are used. There are countries that use French, others use Greek as a means of communication. It will be a problem for somebody moving from Nigeria to those countries to buy and sell. Okay, then we have fourthly that in home trade, we do not need passport, we do not need visa, okay, for movement. All right, but while in foreign trade, passports and other certificates are required, all right, for you to be able to move from one place to another. Then lastly, under the differences between home trade and foreign trade, is that in home trade, the cost of transportation is low compared to that of foreign trade. Okay, in foreign trade, the cost of transportation is very, very high. Okay, so these are some of the differences between home trade and. So let's look at the aids to trade. When we talk about aids to trade, we are referring to those services that facilitate the buying and selling of goods and services. I mean those services that make buying and selling easy, okay, for businessmen and women. And in GSS1, you were taught about the aids to trade, so I'm just going to take it very fast. All right, we have here banking. Okay, bank services provide finance for businessmen and women. They raise capital to enable businessmen and women, okay, carry on their businesses. Then we have advertising. Advertising is a service provided by media organization to enable customers or the general public know about a particular product. And this is done using radio, television, newspapers, and so on and so forth. Then we have transportation. Transportation is a vital aid to trade. It involves the movement of people, goods, and services from one place to another. Then we have communication. Buying and selling of goods requires communication between two or more parties. All right. So communication is a very important aid to trade, as people cannot buy and sell if they don't understand their self. All right. Next we have warehousing. Warehousing is a place prepared where goods are stored until they are needed. All right. So it is a place where goods are stored until they are needed by the consumers. We have also insurance. Insurance is a protection taken against future losses. Okay, insurance is one of our topics for this term. So when we get to week 10, we are going to be doing more or discussing more about insurance. Next, we have e-commerce. E-commerce means electronic commerce. Electronic commerce is the buying and selling of goods and services on the internet. Okay, then lastly we have tourism. Tourism is the business of providing services, okay, such as entertainment, accommodation for people who are on holidays or people going for vacation. All right, so these are the aids to trade. Okay, we are coming gradually to the end of this class. Lastly, we are now going to look at the roles of custom and excise department in foreign trade. We look at the roles of custom and excise department in foreign trade. The custom and excise department is a government organ set up to ensure that goods and services produced locally with imported and exported goods complies with the specific regulations required. Okay, some of the roles of custom and excise department in foreign trade are the collection of taxes. Yes, custom and excise department are responsible for collecting duties on imported and exported goods. All right. It is also a means of generating revenue for the government. All right. Then it regulates the importation and exportation of goods and services. It makes sure that goods and services imported or exported comply with the rule and regulation. Okay. Also, it prevents smuggling of prohibited goods and services. All right. It also ensures strict compliance of foreign exchange control. All right. It promotes foreign direct investment. Okay. It helps also to promote foreign investment. Okay. We have come to the end of this lesson. Thank you. Have a great day ahead. I'll see you next class. All right. For now, good. Bye.